Life listeners, the podcast where we have meaningful conversations around mental health and how it leads to a healthy body, a healthy life for all of us. I'm your host, Sana, and let me ask you this. What if the true measure of business success wasn't just revenue, reach, or recognition, but the number of lives it transformed? Now, today on Healthy Mind, Healthy Life, we are joined by someone who's redefined what it means to grow a business by growing people first. From a one man show in 2002 to building one of India's largest HR franchise network, Rashesh Doshi has helped over, hear me out, 3,300 clients, hired top talent, and empowered more than 100 individuals to start recruitment businesses from their homes. But what makes his journey extraordinary is not just the numbers, it is the purpose behind the process. Now, Rashesh has built systems rooted in trust, consistency, and mindful leadership. And today he's here with us to share how scaling a company can align with empowering others, nurturing mental wellness, and staying human in a high performance world. Always giving hustle and productivity something as like a badge of honor. So, whether you are an entrepreneur, a team leader, or you are simply someone who wants to build with integrity, I hope that this episode will give you those tools and truths and a fresh perspective on what real success looks like. So, with that, Rashesh, welcome to the show, and I am so honored to have you here with us.
Thank you so much, Sana, and it's an honor to be a part of the show as well, and looking forward to a great conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is like the fundamental or the basic, the true essence of starting the podcast Healthy Mind, Healthy Life 3 years back, right after pandemic. So, with that, Rashesh, you often say your business was built on trust and purpose, not just strategy. Um, so, what were some of the pivotal choices you made early on that, that reinforced that foundation? Because typically in a traditional setting, people will always say that business is all about numbers, input and output strategy, and something like that. There is no space for soft skills or soft, skill discussion like purpose or people or empathy.
So, Sana, I do agree with you that a lot of times when we talk about business, um, everybody is simply looking at what's the turnover of your company, what's the kind of profitability, or how much does each team member of yours add to the bottom line. And while I understand that that's a measurement of success,
Mhm.
in my experience and what's worked for me has been that if you take care of your people take care of you.
Yeah.
um I've been very lucky, and let me put it out in the open, saying that I've been very lucky to not only attract good talent, but also that they have stuck along with the organization and have stayed here for a long period of time.
Mhm.
Um, and let it it's also an honest confession out here that the people who joined me were not the best talent which was available in the country, right? They were just ordinary people who wanted to create an impact. And when they came on and we went on this journey together to make our lives more meaningful and the lives of others more meaningful, which I'm talking about the 100 plus franchise partners that we have and the 25,000 plus people that we've recruited. Okay. I think, that sense of purpose when we come into office every day is the reason I think that makes us happy and probably gets us to sleep well at night as well.
I absolutely agree with you, Rashesh. And um, yes, I also do agree that, many a times we have to give importance to um, numbers and the basics of business and entrepreneurship. But yes, you have been lucky. But it's kind of so true because personally, I can also say that even if we do not have access, or we do not uh, have the best, the cream layer of talent available, it's more about how aligned they are with what we are trying to do, how aligned they are, how what kind of attitude and mindset they have, and how best they can fit themselves into the vision, and how the vision can fit itself into them. So it's like a two-way street. It can never be a one way. So that's something I so agree with you.
Thank you. And I think one point I'd like to add out here is that it's not about how they align with us. I think it's how they align together. Uh,
Mm.
some of the entrepreneurs that I have known are so obsessed by what their vision is that they're not even figuring it out with the team whether the vision is a common vision. It's a
Yeah.
common mission. It's they want to just get the people to do what they want to do versus trying to figure out what everybody wants to do together.
Mm.
And I think that's when people miss the bus, right? I think when you co-create something, um, then the value or the joy of achieving that is tenfold more than when just people are working for you. So I think uh, that's my view. I think the intention should be to co-create the vision rather than just creating a mission or a vision and then getting people to follow.
Yeah, that is also right. Yeah, that's what it is. It can be so nuanced. I mean, it works at so many different levels. But what you are saying once again about co-creation, it's true, because sometimes as a founder, we can be so obsessed with what we are trying to build that we kind of push back constructive criticism or discussions around that what we are building, and I've seen such kind of scenarios. So at that time your team can kind of uh, m- believe that maybe I am not a good part of this, and I'm not fit enough to be a part of this. This is something which I don't see uh, what founder is trying to see. So that is completely agreeable. And also, Rashesh, you have empowered over 100 people to start their own franchisee, which is really really inspiring. But then empowerment is often easier said than done. Yeah, and in the business discussion, franchise franchisee is something, it's difficult. It is tough. It's a different ball game altogether. What did you do differently to make that empowerment sustainable and then also real?
So we had a challenge as an organization, and
Mhm.
the challenge was that we wanted to scale in a business environment or in a business model which was more relationship oriented.
Mhm.
Now, when you want to scale and you're stuck up where you can't reach everywhere, you have to look at ways to achieve that. And that I think that necessity is the mother of all inventions, and that necessity gave birth to this franchise model.
Mm.
Um, we don't even call our franchise as franchise; we call them as franchise partners, and the word partner is very very important out here, is because that's how you start behaving and acting with them. Um, and right from the word go, we said, let's do it right. Let's imbibe the three philosophies that Talent Corner, which is my organization, believes in, which is trust, transparency, and relationships. And we had to build that values in our partners as well. Now, unless you trust people, people will not trust you, right? So we said, let us take the first step towards trusting our partners.
Mhm.
Instead of our partners interacting with us and then we interacting with the clients, let our partners interact with the clients directly, right? Which tells them very clearly that, listen, we are going to trust you with the most important part of our business, which is our clients. We took the next step. We said, okay, instead of everything becoming like a Chinese whispers,
Mm.
let's document everything on emails and no verbal commitments. Let's be very transparent from the word go. Because, anyways, we were allowing them to interact with the clients, but we said everything has to be in black and white so that there is never a hidden factor. Every single thing should be documented, and that transparency really, really helped. And I'm so proud to say, Sana, that this decision that we took, not only empowered our partners to follow a tried and tested business philosophy, but it empowered our partners to feel comfortable to be in this relationship for a long period of time. I'm very thankful to our partners and the Almighty, which has ensured that these partners have been with us for 8, 10, 10, 15 years and have created the company that we see today together. So what we are today is thanks to our partners and the virtues and the fact that, forget about us empowering them, they have empowered themselves to become the true owners of the organization.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, many a times, as an owner or entrepreneur, we forget to, maybe unintentionally, express gratitude towards the internal and the external stakeholders that we work with. You know, we are here because of them. And it's again, it's kind of an ecosystem. um and it's always, I guess, no, I believe that it is always um humbling to express gratitude towards your external stakeholders specifically. And I think that's where the difference lies. Instead of franchise, having them, addressing them as partners, gives them that empowerment, because they are empowering themselves. And and it's different. Have there been any moments, Rashesh, where there were like any disagreement or maybe misalignment, or maybe the trust was tested? I mean, if there were any situation like that, how did you handle that as a leader? Because uh, those are kind of the litmus test for anyone as an entrepreneur or leader, specifically those kind of situations.
You're right, absolutely. I think, Sana, we as entrepreneurs all make mistakes.
Mhm.
And, I'm 42 today, and we had started the franchise model almost 14, 15 years ago.
Oh,
Uh, and that time I was a 26, 27-year-old young boy.
okay.
And what happens is you are very fascinated by something which comes more easily, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
if money is coming easily, you're very fascinated by it at that age for sure.
Mm.
And obviously, we had certain misalignments. We did not bring in the right franchise partners with the right attitude or the right, if I may say, the value systems. I'm not going to blame them being right, wrong, us being right, wrong. I think our value systems were different. And therefore, we were not able to match up to each other's expectations. Um, Let me also be honest, you, some of those situations got ugly where, we were not able to come to a fair point of, agreement or how we would work together. And therefore, we needed to part ways in a way which was um, not something that I'm going to be okay with today. It was not a very smooth partition from each other. But I think, when you go through such episodes, you learn, you keep doing some introspection in terms of what could you have done differently. And that's what's evolved in the last 14, 15 years, that we know now what kind of people are we looking for, what kind of
Mhm.
values are we looking for, um, what to tell them to ensure that their expectation is aligned with what we can deliver to them, what should they be coming in with, what kind of a mindset. uh,
Mm.
and we've learned this over a period of time. And let me tell you, once you learn these things, and which you will with your experiences, you will make fewer mistakes, and then the disagreements that we are talking about will be a lot fewer. We've literally had none in the last few years, but yes, there will be a lot fewer. But one thing, yes, nothing in life is going to be foolproof. It will keep needing you to go through experiences, and only experiences will teach you, what it means to get it right. So there will always be bad experiences. In fact, sometimes I look for the experiences which are not very very favorable, so that I can learn more and make my organization stronger.
And they're kind of those, reality checks that you need to have.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's sometimes needed because it's, I don't know, it's an old, not saying, but our um, ancestors, our, elders, they always say that whenever things, or situation or events are like everything is fine, everything is happening uh, favorable to you, and everything is happening for good, don't be very much complacent. Don't think that everything is fine because uh, time will give you a reality check. So always stay grounded and enjoy the best, but then be prepared for the worst.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I agree with you, and I think, um, complacency is the enemy of greatness, and we've heard this so many times. um, and also, when you are not careful, when you are just taking going on the ride, and and just going by the flow, sometimes you miss certain very critical uh, points in the business, where, or business or life, forget about just business, because I think this conversation is more about life as a whole. Sometimes, you just miss some really important points, which can then create a lot of unrest to you as a person, right? So, bringing in, like I said, for example, bringing in someone wrong into your organization can not only be detrimental to your business, but also can create a lot of different levels of mental frustration, because you have to interact with these people, right? When people are not aligned, or people have different values as compared to you, it can create a lot of sleepless nights, if I may say so, out of experience. And therefore, one needs to be very, very careful and not allow complacency to creep in, for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, now this next question is definitely um, my favorite. And of course, so Rashesh, you focus on people first, building people first business. And I believe still, especially in our country, in the business setups, the corporates, mental health, mental resilience, it is underrated. I mean, we have barely scratched the surface. There are conversations happening, but however, um, it will take a considerable amount of time to bring it more in the mainstream discussion. So, I would love to understand from you, Rashesh, what's your perspective on mental health? Was this something that you were internally aligned with right from the beginning, or this is something which you learned while doing building your businesses, interacting with people, managing partners and team members?
So, Sana, you're absolutely right that the whole conversation around mental wellness is not something that we have dwelled deeply in as a society. And I think, but yes, I mean, I must tell you that more and more people are having conversations around it. And I, for one, I'm very, very strong about being uh, being very, very happy in life. And I want not only myself, but my team to also be really happy in life. And I'm a big propagator of that. And not only am I just talking about it, I'm very clear. I talk to it about it to my team as well, and I actually make sure that actions are taken towards them being happier and not stressed in life. I don't think it's very complicated. I think there are simple things that can be done, and those simple things can be put into place. uh, People will not only be more comfortable and mentally fit, but they will also be happy to continue working with you. So, uh, a tip from a HR guy who's into recruitments is, please make sure that you are giving your team members' mental health a very high priority, because the more high priority you give it, the better will be your retention ratio. And then you will not need to pay people like us to find you new talent. You'll be able to retain your existing talent. So I know I'm putting a hammer on my own foot,
Exactly.
but yeah, I mean, I'm happy if the people working in my client organizations are happy.
That's true. That's true. That is so, so true. So true. And moreover, right now, presently, it is so, so much relevant to talk about it. And Rashesh, I don't know, maybe this can be a bit controversial, not controversial, but more of a uh, you know trendy discussion that many people they have been talking about the number of working hours, 4-day working, 5-day working, 6-day working, how you should be, like there are debates happening around 70-hour work, 90 hours work. And but then people are also coming up front to talk about how um, they are now prioritizing their own health, mental wellness, their family, their life over a job. It's kind of a shift that we have seen, especially during and after pandemic. But what do you make out of all these, discussions happening around?
So let me be honest to you. I'm very uncomfortable of these random statements coming in from industry stalwarts about 70 and 90-hour work days. I think these are these are unfair. These are inhuman, right? And you can't expect anybody to work those number of hours, irrespective of their ambition, right? I heard someone say that we need to do it for the country, and I get it. I understand that in today's day and age we want to make our country really successful. But what's the point of having a successful country when the people in the country are not happy with their lives? Do we
Exactly.
want to have a country with grumpy faces? Do we want to have a country which is of mentally ill people? I rather have little less, or not be amongst the top three GDPs or economies in the world, and have a bunch of healthy people and happy people around me. So I am not fully convinced about these large number of or long number of working hours. Uh, I do agree, and I'm not also in complete alignment with a staunch statement that work life balance needs to be there. Uh, I think this is a very old thought. Today's day and age, after COVID, we've learned that there is a way to balance, but I think there's a greater way to blend work and life. Today, many organizations are giving hybrid opportunities. Many organizations are giving fully work at home. uh, Many organizations are giving you an ability to give things which are high priority for you, which is, for example, your family a little bit more importance. And I think if people can blend the work and life together, we will still achieve the goals that we are setting out to do. And this is my experience. I think I am a real life example of someone who does not really try to create a work and a life balance, but a work and a life blend. And it has worked beautifully for me for the last several years.
And the same thing I can also say, Rashesh. Yeah, I have had 10 years of my corporate experience. and taking a risk and then uh, going completely into full time podcasting. The biggest reason to trigger that kind of decision, taking this risk, was how I can blend or devote my time to work as well as perform as a caregiver for my aging parents, because the last 5 6 years have been really tough personally for me and for them from health perspective. So I know that I have to be there, even if I am not in the same city as they are in. But at the same time, I should say, it's a privilege for me. It's a privilege for me. For many of us, we don't even have that privilege, but for me, I'm lucky. As you know, you said initially, I'm also lucky that I am getting to network with people who who they can help me in my career, and I can also help. So it's once again like a symbiotic relationship. And secondly, I have the freedom, I have the control to go and visit my parents, or sometimes bring them here, take some time out, visit them maybe frequently every month or once in 2 or 3 months. And even if there is an emergency, I still have that control to be mindfully prepared, that what should I do in such kind of scenarios. That is something which came out of my own personal experiences, before I left my full time 9 to 5 job.
That's so beautifully put, Sana. I think you've driven the point saying that there is more to life than just making money, right? I'm I'm not even debating the fact that money is important or not important. I'm saying it is important, but if you've understood this well, there is a lot more to life than just making money. Like you said, being with your aging parents, being with your growing up kids, giving time to what you are really passionate about, reading, listening to music, being a part of nature, exercising, having great friends, getting into great conversations, traveling the globe. My God, there is so much to do, right? And there is so much to do which can make you so much more happier. And if only one could learn that there needs to be importance given to them, I think they would be a lot more happier. Uh, Money can only buy the materialistic things. Uh, it's at the end of the day, I read this in a very beautiful book when I was reading the autobiography of Mr. Ambani, Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani. He said that no matter how much money we make, the real joy is of having the dal chawal that we are eating today, right? And everybody, all of us, no matter how much fancy food we eat, the real pleasure of life is to have the simple home cooked meals, right? And that's what life is all about, is what I'd like to say.
What a beautiful summary of this conversation. Beautiful summary. Thank you so much, Rashesh. Um, and before we wrap up, um, I mean, we haven't delved deep into that, but in hindsight, Rashesh, what part of your business philosophy came directly from your personal life? Um, how has, business in return shaped who you are outside those four walls, those boardrooms and meetings and everything?
So I think, Sana, everything happens out of experiences, right? And when you've gone through your ups and downs of life, and I'm sure everybody's gone through their ups and downs in life, um, we all learn to become better human beings, right?
Mm.
Of course, when I walk into the office and I sit on the chair of the director of my company, it is my responsibility to make my company stronger.
Yeah.
Uh, but do I do it mindfully? The answer is yes. Am I careful with the words that I speak? The answer is yes. Am I careful of not hurting anyone? The answer of that is yes. Am I am I trying to be more empathetical to everybody I'm engaging with, the answer is yes. And it's a conscious effort. And I'm not saying I'm absolutely perfect. There are times when I absolutely lose my cool and all of this goes out of the window, right? Um, but I think the eventual goal is to try and meet people, understand their perspectives, respect their what they're going through in life, be helpful to them, right? Uh, I make a lot of effort. I make a lot of effort, and it's not because of anything else, but it's because it gives me joy to try and listen to people and see how much I can add value to them as a person. If I can be helpful to someone, I will be helpful. And if I can't, then I'd rather tell them, listen, I'm a, I can be a good head to listen to what you have to say. I can be a good sounding board, but I don't know how much I can help you in this journey moving forward. And sometimes even just listening is enough to help someone in need.
More than enough. It's more than enough. Especially, especially in the mental health circles, um, listening is an such a vital role as a community or as a friend, as a colleague, or as a leader, or as a family member we can do. Because, you know, a person who is suffering, especially, they have, you know, it's kind of, it comes very organically that nobody is listening to me or I am completely alone. But you are not alone. You're not alone. So that is so, so important. Such an important point you mentioned.
True.
Great, Rashish. So, if our listeners would like to connect with you, what will be the best way to do that?
I'm happy to connect with anybody who needs any support in any form, whether it's mentoring regarding their job roles, whether it's wanting to take up a career opportunity in the recruitment industry like our franchise model, or whether it's just about bouncing an idea. I'm happy to connect with them. They can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. My handle is my name, Rashesh Doshi. They can also visit our website, which is www.talentcorner.in. And my email ID and my phone number are all mentioned out there. One can contact me over the call, WhatsApp, email, message. I'm absolutely available. And in any ways I can add value to your listeners, I'll be happy to do so.
Perfect, perfect. I'll make sure to mention the links in the show notes. And Rashesh, I couldn't thank you enough for this beautiful conversation. And this reminds me of so many leadership styles that I am learning in my conversations with incredible guests like you, about servant leadership, conscious leadership, intuitive leadership. And definitely, these are all not just buzzwords, but these are commitments. So, thank you so much for your conversation, your insights, and the beautiful words, the feelings that you express, the gratitude that you have expressed today. Thank you so
Thank,
much.
thank you so much, Sana. Really appreciate, and it's been a pleasure getting into this conversation.
Oh, thank you so much for your kind words, Rashesh. And to all the listeners, thank you so much for being a part of Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. And if today's episode has sparked something within you, whether a shift in mindset or a new idea to try, we would love to hear it. Don't forget to connect with Rashesh. I'll have all the links and details in the show notes along with this episode. And also, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. This has been Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I'm your host, Sana. I'll see you next time. Thank you.